What's up, guys? Welcome to another live stream. As usual, give it a couple minutes to let everyone get in. So if you're watching the replay, feel free to skip ahead a couple minutes. I'll just be giving some updates, killing some time as everybody gets on in here. Hope you guys have caught the recent couple vlogs, especially the most recent one before this one. The title was like, here's your massive advantage to be successful, something like that. Really good. I just got very honest, and people, great response to that one. So definitely go check that one out if you have not. Other than that, just, keeping busy, some chilling, the usual stuff, but, hope everyone is doing super well. Facebook group has been popping at like 3,300 members, something like that now. So, check out all the things down there while you're waiting. And other than that, I'll just give it another minute as everyone gets in here. But what's up, guys? Looks like people are starting to come in. What's up, James? What's up, Paul? How's it going? Vincent, Justin, Jason, Antonio, Edward, Boost. What's up, guys? Looks like we're starting to get some questions, so I'll just roll right into it. Let's just get going. Let me pick out some good questions. Do you deal with fear of missing out, FOMO / informational overload? Definitely, though I would say the solution to that is something that Tim Ferriss refers to as the low information diet, which is something I strongly did for a lot of years, though in the last year or so I've let myself consume more as I've sort of worked a bit less, I would say. But especially in the early days, you have to be very careful about the content you consume, tuning out all the stuff that's just not relevant to you and you don't need to know it. Now, just try to focus on learning what you actually immediately need and refer to the thing. You don't need to listen to a podcast about how to write a best-selling book if you're not doing that. You know what I mean? There's a lot of that. So I try to just focus myself on stuff that is actually interesting to or applicable to me now. Fear of missing out. I don't know if I have any tremendous advice there, but you need to figure out what's right for you, I guess. What is the best opportunity for you now? And you just have to play that right. I also don't want to miss out. So I try to evaluate things legitimately, I guess. Not just write everything off immediately, but yeah, hope that kind of helps. While running the Jungle Scout extension, do you sort it by how Jungle Scout populates it default, or do you sort by BSR? This is for evaluating potential products and competition. I would never sort it by BSR because BSR varies by category. For example, 5,000 in kitchen means something totally else than 5,000 in pets. So I never, you shouldn't really care what the BSR number is. I mean, you should, but we're really just using the BSR as it is equivalent to something that is useful. And something that is useful is the actual amount of sales and revenue and things like that. So I would never really sort it by BSR. Sometimes I do like to just put on a filter for under 200 reviews or under 100 reviews or under 50 reviews, depends what I'm doing. And then I'll often sort it by revenue. So I'll have top revenue at the top. So I'm trying to basically look for some sort of ratio between healthy revenue to low reviews and overall competition. What's up? What's up? Can I have more than one brand under one seller account? Yeah, that's the easiest way to have multiple brands. There's a lot more obstacles to go through if you're going to want to set it up separately. You're going to have to set up separate legal companies for each of those if you want to do it that route. So the easy way is just to have multiple brands under one account, which you don't have to do anything. All you have to do is create listings under new brand names, and you have that set up there. Need some more info on your biohacking life? I guess the short of it is I'm fanatical about diet. I take a ton of expensive supplements. I'm always missing the sun. You know, there's a lot of benefits of sun right now. It's weather hasn't been too great in LA, so I'm missing just getting out into the sand and in the sun. So other than that, you know, things like cold showers, things like meditation, things like just really paying attention to your quality of sleep. I pretty much don't drink alcohol. Let me know if you have any more specific questions. I'd be happy to go down that rabbit hole. What's the minimum profit you would like for a product? So I calculate profit margin as what is my margin left before PPC? And then I think of that profit margin as my room to play, right? And I want that to be 30 to 50%, but I also don't want to sell products that are so cheap. Say like 15 and under, even 15. I usually say 15 is like the cutoff, but that's still not good. That's just like if you find a rare exception and the numbers make a lot of sense and it sells for 15, 16 bucks, could be okay. But you know, you don't want to have your profit margin be 30%, but that only means making $3. Like that's off the table. So in terms of actual dollar amount, you know, maybe like 7 or 8 on the low end, but optimally like 10, 12, 15 profit before PPC, because then that is your room to play with ad spend. Are you going to the gym or have another daily routine? I've been terrible about the gym. That's something that I need to get back on schedule with. I'm feeling scrawny. I used to be considerably more muscular than I am right now. I take health extremely seriously, but I haven't done like that type of health, at least in the past year or two. I've been just really bad at making that a habit. But daily routine, you know, like I kind of touched on a second ago, I try to take really good care of my sleep. I always wake up and have bulletproof coffee pretty much every morning or some other wacky health concoction. I've been kind of slacking on all of my habits, to be honest, because like I also just mentioned meditation. But yeah, I've really fallen off the last like month or so. So I need to work on that, but I'm a huge fan of all of those things. Who do you use as an email autoresponder and why? I assume you mean within Amazon, of course. This is for your email follow-up. When a customer purchases your product, you can automatically have a sequence of emails hit that customer over periods of time. I personally use the one called Feedback Genius, and that is not because it's necessarily the best. It's just that was the only one around back then, and I've never been bothered to switch, right? Like what is my incentive to like try out another tool if it's working for me? So I've heard of other ones. I just keep going with what works for me. So, you know, that's the one that I do. Hey, you skipped my name. What's up, Abhishek? Hopefully I didn't get your name terribly wrong. Sorry if I did. I didn't see you earlier. But yeah, we've got a lot in here now. 72 people. I really appreciate you guys being here. Or if you're watching the replay in the future, I appreciate you in the future. What are your 2 or 3 most important criteria while choosing a product to get into? That's an easy one. Like the absolute core of everything product research has to be existing sales volume and evaluating competition. If it doesn't make sense on those 2 things, then it's just never going to work. There are further steps sort of down from there, definitely. But if those 2 don't work, like it just doesn't even make sense. So existing sales volume has to be a healthy range where you are happy with that amount of revenue, and then market size versus competition, meaning, you know, how big is this market versus how many competitors am I going up against? That needs to make sense. I need to feel like I can actually get in and get a piece of that revenue where I'd be happy with that amount of sales. Love the vlogs. Keep it up. Thank you. Definitely will. Getting a lot of questions, so I'm going to be skipping a few. So just keep asking if I miss yours, and I like to keep it a little bit more towards the recent ones. Just for the people that are in here live, so they don't feel like it's a replay or whatever, because a lot of people say that. Are you able to give us a list on what's taught in each section of the course, like teachable courses? Also, I'm planning to get your course, but currently saving up. Any plans on having sales? Yeah, I mean, I should have that on the website, to be honest. I do in the video, I mentioned the 10 sections, and you can see the video titles if you actually just like pause the video, it shows up. I'm not like hiding it. It's just not built into the way I have the website right now. But yeah, I should really get that up because I'm not like hiding the names of the videos by any means. It's just not built on Teachable, so that wasn't like an automatic thing where it would show up. But yeah, if you look into the video right on the Zero to Brand course page, you'll see pretty much most of them in there if you pay attention to it. But I should update that page just to like show the full list. As far as planning on having any sales, to be honest, not really. Not to say that I won't ever at some point in the future, but I think that the price point makes sense, and I don't want to be the guy that's always trying to shove in some doors are closing, you have to get it now or it's never going to be available again. Like I did the $100 off for the first week, but that was just for those of you who had been waiting, and now people are buying it at the full price. People are happy at the full price, so the price is the price. I don't really have any plans for that, but at some point, potentially like a little deal here or there, I don't know, but not in the immediate plans now. What exactly does it mean to go hard on PPC? Does it mean multiple campaigns or just a high budget? My budget doesn't seem to fill for the day usually, but that might be due to review / optimization. So what it means to go hard is to push really aggressively and spend a lot and bid higher. So in your particular case, it sounds like you're not bidding high enough to actually be pushing it out there aggressively. So in your case, I would say bid higher such that you can actually push your budget. And by being aggressive, I mean, don't worry about ROI because you need to just go into the red, lose a bit of money because you're pushing, you're trying to get that momentum for later. Amazon terms of service forbids you from having more than one seller account. What is your take on having multiple accounts? Yeah, so it does forbid you, but if you set up separate businesses, that will be seen to Amazon as a legitimate reason. Amazon needs a legitimate reason to approve you for a second account. So if you have a separate legal business entity, then they will approve that. So yes, if you want to go that route, then you're going to need to set up a separate legal business, separate bank account, all of that, which probably means separate insurance and separate, it's just a lot to do. So only do that if you really have a long-term vision for that brand versus this brand. Otherwise, I would just say put them onto the same account. Looking for some good ones. What's your best pick up and go organic juice or fruit product right now? I actually don't do a lot of fruit because I do quite a ketogenic based diet, sort of like cyclic keto. So I don't really have one as for that. I mean, bulletproof coffee is definitely my go-to, or sometimes I'll make like a super packed, like high fat antioxidant smoothie, which has pretty much no fructose, no sugar. If I do have fruit, it'll usually be some like berries, like fresh blueberries, things like that. But I don't really have a go-to for that. Will you review my supplement? No, sorry, I won't do that for anybody because I don't want my account to be tied into anybody else's seller account. So I won't review anybody. What is the best shipping solution in your opinion? For sure, it's sea shipping. I mean, sea shipping, the costs at scale are not even in the same ballpark. So if you're just starting out, I would say just go air express, which means FedEx, DHL, UPS. But as you progress, then it has to be sea. Just tuned in. Are you going ahead with your proposed podcast? I vote yes. It would become my #1 go-to podcast. Please also include paleo, nutrition, health content. Thanks. Can't wait. Yeah, I really, really want to do it. I just haven't. I'm trying to do a lot of things right now, and that leads me to like end up dropping the ball in a lot of places. I need to get organized on a lot of things, but I really want to do the podcast. I want it to be not just an Amazon podcast, not just a health paleo podcast. I really want it to be kind of like the Tim Ferriss show or just those types of shows that just go deep on any topic that is relevant and interesting. So whether that would be a conversation with the founder of a company that I really admire and going into a business route, in some cases it would be applicable to Amazon, or on other ones, maybe it'd just be something about something about health or something about just whatever piques my interest. So I definitely want to do the podcast. Again, I'll put the question out there to you guys. What do you think? Leave a comment. let me know I should do it, motivate me to do it. And if you have ideas for it too, like, what types of guests you think I should go for? Should it be a long one? Should it be a short one? I'm definitely leaning towards like hour-long deep conversations, not just like the boom, boom, boom questions, but like really going in and exploring whatever I want to talk about. Why don't you travel? I do. I've traveled a few times, just even on these vlogs. Since starting the vlog, there's vlogs of me in Portland, up in Napa, where I'm from originally, Hawaii. So yeah, I mean, I haven't in the last few months, I guess, but maybe I need to. Got a list of supplements and or nootropics. I'm just getting into biohacking, but pretty deep into nootropics already. So I have not personally experimented with any like serious nootropics. I've taken like sort of the more on the supplement end of things, like, the ones that just have various blends of B vitamins and like, what is it? Qualia, that one, I tried samples of that. But I haven't tried like aniracetam, things like that. I just personally haven't. I'm not against it. I just personally haven't. As far as a list of supplements, I take like freaking like, I should add up the cost of supplements that I consume per day. It's kind of ridiculous. Are you going to drive Tanner's Aventador SV? I mean, I'd be super down. I don't know if he'd be down. Obviously, I'd want to, but it's an interesting question. Are there any additional requirements when importing a battery-operated product for sale? Hazmat issue. Yeah, exactly. You touched on that. Make sure you dig into the requirements listed on Amazon. They're going to detail all of the certifications you would need, and then yeah, you can get caught up in those issues where you're trying to get hazmat approval, all of that. Brock, I've failed at meditating also. Going hard at YouTube ruins your habits. Yeah, dude. Oh, wow. I just realized also that comment was 9 minutes ago, so I'm probably going to skip ahead. It's always hard to manage how many of you guys are in here now. But yeah, Brock, I totally agree. I know you're on the same page as me with all that stuff. But yeah, it's hard. Sometimes I have periods where I'm right on all of my habits. And then sometimes I just like drop the ball on all of them for a while. So it definitely doesn't make me feel good to like admit that or to do that. But yeah, I need to go back deep into that. Let's see. Question, low competition is better, right? How many sellers is considered low competition? It's never going to be an exact answer because it's in balance with the market size. Larger market size, I'm okay with more competitors. Very small market size, I only want a couple competitors. So it's a spectrum of that. But what matters is the balance. You don't want to see a market that is just blown out and has 2 people doing well and 100 not doing well. And you also don't want to see, 1 doing well and 5 not doing well. Or you don't want to see 10 doing well and 200 not doing well. It has to do with sort of like that ratio, in my opinion. Hey Matt, what do you think about the environment surroundings you're in affects your overall motivation and progress? Yeah, I actually did a video about that topic and I made an Instagram post a while back about that topic. I totally agree with it. I attribute myself moving down here to one of the reasons I sort of increased my mindset of what was possible. I told the story of that mine and Jessica's, our studio apartment was like, that's just how it is down here. But literally like our studio apartment was wedged between like $6 million houses. Like that's just how these areas are. If you don't know, if you've never been to like LA or been to like by the beach, but there'll be like a small little apartment or like some little shack. And then next to it is like a $10 million house. So it just definitely makes you think like, whoa, like, and then also like the supercars, you just see like Lambos and Ferraris literally go outside my window like every day. So it just makes you think like that it's possible because they're just real people too. That's a tough one. Let me think. How do you judge competition with the product you picked? It's a lot of just digging around, you got to dig through all that competition on Amazon. If I see that some are not doing well, I would try to pick out why that is. So Can I point to reasons why that guy and that guy are not doing well when these other ones are? And then trying to identify who exactly is my competitor. Like which ones are doing well that I am going to go head to head with. So it's a lot of just sort of manual evaluation. What does it mean to bid high on PPC? It means to raise the bid that you are willing to pay per click. So say you had been bidding, $1, or let's say you had been bidding like 75 cents and you weren't spending your budget. Well, if you up your bid from 75 cents to $1.50, you're going to get a lot more impressions, meaning views on your ad, which means you're going to get a lot more clicks and you're going to spend more per click. So that's going to just push it out there more because you're bidding higher. Excuse me. What do you think about drop shipping? I'm interested by it. I do find it very odd and confusing, this like massive resurgence of drop shipping and how a lot of young people are getting into it. And there's a lot of hype on YouTube around it. I find it odd because drop shipping was like the first wave of e-commerce like 12 years ago. Like people thought drop shipping was dead or whatever like a while back. So it's weird. It's a little bit of an odd model. You don't own a lot with it, I think. Because you're not really building up much like brand equity, things like that. Like I've stumbled onto some of the videos from dropshippers. I haven't gone deep into it, but like, they talk about having like a 1 or 2 month life cycle for a product and then you're just doing it all again. It's like that, I don't know. It's really short. I mean, I'm not saying you can't have it successful long-term, but I don't like that. I want to be building something that sort of grows over time. And the longer you're building on it, the more valuable it is. Yeah. So I'm not a huge fan, but that doesn't mean the upside of it is that it definitely, this is fully true. You can start testing dropshipping with way less money than you can start FBA. You can't just jump into Amazon FBA private label with $0. It just doesn't work. Whereas you can go find a dropshipping product and, start trying to get sales for basically free. Like, yeah, you might run some ads to it or something, but you don't have to buy all that inventory up front. You just mentioned insurance. Wait, what? What do you need insurance for? So technically Amazon requires general liability insurance. But as a private labeler, you should really have product liability insurance as well. Because when you're private labeling, you are basically putting yourself out there as the manufacturer in a way. You own that product. Like you are responsible for that product. So Amazon won't require that of you, but you should definitely have that. Brock, what are your favorite vegan meals? I don't know. I mean, I don't eat vegan. I do more of like a paleo, like a clean keto. I have issues with a lot of those namings. We could go down that rabbit hole, but yeah, bulletproof diet is solid. So I'm more on that end of the spectrum. It was a joke about reviewing my supplement. Gotcha. Does it follow Amazon's guidelines to promote via Instagram and direct traffic to Amazon? Absolutely. I mean, think about it from Amazon's perspective. They would love it. I mean, you're just giving them traffic. So for sure, nothing against that. If anything, I think I've heard rumors that people say, I don't know, I've heard it both ways. Some people think that it helps the algorithm to drive outside traffic. Some people have said they've heard that it actually doesn't. I believe it does. I don't know if that's like actually in the algorithm for sure. Nobody knows the Amazon algorithm like for sure. But I think it would make sense, and I think it's good for you overall. So yeah, I mean, outside traffic is the ultimate. Sam or Matt to Montreal soon. Maybe. We'll see. New to your channel but learning. What's the one thing you'd suggest for a newbie? Honestly, the one thing I'd suggest is what you're doing. You need to immerse yourself in content and information first. Like before you start trying to really do anything, you need to just immerse yourself in what it is that you're trying to learn. And this applies to any topic, not just Amazon. The reality of the world that we live in is you do not need to be, like, you don't need to know that much to be in the top 1% of a field. Like literally, like if you wanted to learn the stock market or something and you read one book on the stock market, you would be in the top 1% of the world. Like that's like, there's very low barrier to entry. So first off, just go dive into YouTube, dive into podcasts, dive into the Facebook group, ask questions, like just get immersed in it. I would say that's really the first thing. Do you get inspection done in both China and the US? Wait, where'd that go? Oh, no, just in China or wherever country. Let's see. What are your best strategy on brand awareness and social proof? Really dig the Porsche, by the way. Thanks. It's a tough one. You know, I mean, on Amazon itself, social proof is reviews. I mean, that's just straightforward. Other than that, you have, I mean, that's the only thing I would really directly say is social proof on the listing, unless you integrate it into your photos somehow, which is interesting. I haven't exactly done that, but you could say, you know, almost have like a testimonial in your photo. That's doable. If you're talking off Amazon, you know, these are areas that I'm not necessarily an expert, but well, in some ways I sort of am, but like video, I think is the best for brand awareness. I mean, just look at like my personal brand just from doing video, clearly the best platform. So that's a weird question. Not sure what that person meant. Not you, not the one I was answering, just saw something weird. Some of you guys ask some weird stuff in here. Yeah, brand awareness, you know, video, Instagram. Yeah, I mean, really, I think Instagram and Facebook are the core platforms. Well, and YouTube. I actually think YouTube is the best. I just think that it's like a higher barrier to entry, especially for like a brand. But yeah, I mean, YouTube is powerful, very, very powerful. And it's powerful too, just to talk sort of on personal brand for a second, not just because of the amount of reach, but because of the depth. For example, like even when I had 200 subscribers, like I had a lot of interaction and depth already. And that's what's interesting is you could have like, you know, 20,000 Instagram followers in some cases. Some people have 20,000 on Instagram and it means nothing. So whereas like YouTube, you can really get to know people and really go deep with it. So slight tangent, but looking for some good questions. Would you ever compete for an already competitive product to reap the high sales in the long run? Yeah, absolutely, I would. You just need to understand that every individual opportunity has its own risk versus reward profile. So in some cases, I'm going into something smaller, less competitive, less risk. In some instances, I'm going into something that is a lot more risk, but a lot more upside. So as long as you recognize what it is you're going for and you are aware of that, then everything is an opportunity. Like whether it's not competitive, you know, small market, big market, you just have to be real about what it is that you're actually looking at. Let's see. What do you think about unverified reviews? Do you use it? Do you like it? No, I mean, I don't do anything to manipulate reviews, and I would not suggest anybody to do so. So, yeah. Sweet, thanks for answering my question. I think it's time for a change to help my journey into entrepreneurship. Huge fan of and love your content. I've watched every video. Keep up the good work. Really appreciate that. Thanks a lot, and you should go for it. You absolutely should go for it. Any advice on launching hand-knitted clothing line for children on Amazon, then building up brand and selling on your own website? You know, you have to start with what I said was my core of product selection is what is the existing market on Amazon? So if those products are not already selling well on Amazon, then you're just going to be fighting a really hard battle on Amazon. Now, I'm not saying it couldn't be successful, but you're just going to have to go that off Amazon, brand, ads, that whole route, which is harder. You know, whereas with the whole reason that we talk about Amazon is because we can tap into what's already working, right? So I would start there. Hey Matt, what do you think about the Ferrari GTC4 Lusso? I'm super into it. If anyone doesn't know, that's the Ferrari with the back seats. I think it's so cool, or the FF that preceded it. You know, those go for like mid 300,000 range, but the used FFs are going for like 150. I mean, that's a seriously good buy, I think. The GTC4 Lusso looks a lot cooler, but it's, you know, it's too expensive for what it is compared to the FF, I mean. Let's see. How would you start private label with 15 grand? One expensive product or 2 to 3 cheaper ones? You know, you need to just look and try to find opportunities, right? Go find a bunch of opportunities and then pick which one you think is the best opportunity. I wouldn't like decide on that first, you know? That's kind of backwards. I would just say, go search for these opportunities. If you find one that costs all 15 grand up front, but you think it's just, you're just so sold on this opportunity, then maybe you should do that. On the other hand, if you find a great opportunity and it only takes you 5 grand, well, now you have, you know, 10 more grand to throw at a couple more. So that's kind of what I would say, I guess. Well, that is what I said. I ordered my first 6 products last night. Regret it when I woke up. I did old school research. I looked at bestsellers and followed some products, found good manufacturers. Why did you regret it? I mean, I do think the old school sort of digging is still very valuable. But you need to be evaluating the competition smartly, right? Thanks again for your advice during our phone call. Photos coming in the next days. Quick info on how to do a shipping plan, please. Thanks again, Airport Matt. What's up, Steve? So quick info on how to do a shipping plan. It's quite simple. You know, you have to have your listing. I'm sure at this point you have your listing created. You have your FN SKU on the product. You really just need to go into your inventory view, click on the product, the checkbox. You can do it both from manage inventory or manage FBA inventory. Both views will work. The drop down, I'm doing this off the top of my head, but the drop down is like send and replenish inventory. Just follow the steps. You know, you just have to tell them like how many units are in each box, what's the size and weight of the box. It's quite simple. So I would just say follow through that. And if you get stuck, ask a question in the Facebook group about any detail. Amazon Lending is offering me $8,000 at 16% APR. Should I take it? I would say take it no matter what. And the reason for that is when you take the small loan, they are going to refinance you at a higher amount later, which you will be happy to have that offer if you need it in the future. So the 8 grand, whatever. But for example, my first one was I think 8 grand. And then I think like 2 months later, they offered me like 50 grand. And then a few months later, they offered me like 80 grand. It just keeps going up. Now it's like over 300 grand. Let's see. Would you mind going deeper in insurance? Does any product need it, or would you take specific risks into consideration? Definitely, I would take risks into consideration. Like the more liable you are, the more I'd be like, okay, you really should get it from day one. My technical legal advice would be everyone should have it from day one. Most people probably won't. So, but yeah, I mean, if you're trying to sell something that could like hurt somebody, then yeah, I mean, you should take it more seriously. But really, as soon as you know you're sticking with this, you should, or not even that, as soon as you can see that it's working, like you really need to consider the insurance thing and keep yourself safe. What do you think about drop shipping? Answered that earlier in this live stream. So if you just hopped in here now live, watch the replay later. I actually talked about that. Giveaways, yay or nay? Some say it's not worth it and you lose money. What's your take? It's the old method. I mean, it's old. I don't know. It's like Amazon 2015. You know, I'm not saying to not use promotions, but I don't use the giveaway sites. I don't do giveaway groups. Not to say it's completely ineffective, but I think Amazon has made it clear they don't want that. Not that they don't want coupons out there, but I just don't like using the same pool of buyers. I've talked about this in the past, so I won't go too deep, but yeah. Hey, Matt, what do you think about a Nissan Rogue? I mean, I'm not sure if that's like kind of sarcastic just because I usually talk more about like sports cars and exotic cars and things like that. You know, personally, I think the Nissan Rogue is immensely boring, but if you're just asking from the perspective of like wanting an economical, reliable car, then it's, I mean, it would check all the boxes, but yeah. Oh, Charday from the earlier question. I meant an herb, fruit, or vitamin that not many people know about yet. That's a health game changer. Um, hmm. That's a tough one. I mean, I experiment with like a lot of weird stuff. Like I've been really fascinated by like the mushrooms lately, you know, chaga mushroom, cordyceps, lion's mane, all of those things, reishi. Um, I think that, well, I don't know. I take so many. It's hard for me to even just pinpoint one, but I'm definitely, I guess that's like more the freshest on my mind because I it's more recent. I feel like it's been hyped up just sort of recently, so it's kind of exciting. But I would say that most people don't know is just say, you know, going from eating high carb, high sugar to high healthy fat, low carb. I mean, that's going to be the biggest impact thing of anything. Or even going a different route than say vitamins and stuff like that is the the water you drink. You know, like I definitely don't drink tap water. I pay a lot of attention to that because there's a lot of shit in water that is going to mess up everything else that you do. Let's see. At what point would we start getting offered loans by Amazon? Samer asked. You know, being in Canada, I don't want to speak incorrectly, but I'm not sure Canadian sellers get offered Amazon lending. So might not work for your case specifically. If anybody is selling in Canada and can correct me on that, let me know. But I'm pretty sure they're only offered to US sellers as of now. It definitely was like that before unless they've changed it. But usually it would happen after selling for a year or so. Nobody would ever get it before a year. Can you briefly explain viral launch product launches? Should I use it? Thanks, Matt. I don't use viral launch for product launches. And that it ties into the fact that I don't like to be using the same pool of buyers for my giveaways and things like that. So, you know, implementing those principles on your own with your own promotions, your own coupons, your own URLs, I'm all for that. And I don't dislike viral launch as a company. I've listened to podcasts with the guy with the guy behind it, and I think he's great. I think he's super smart. I think the company has good intentions. I just don't like the same pool of buyers being used over and over. But you can absolutely do the same thing. And if you really don't understand the concept at all yet, like if you're starting from brand new, the concept is that you give out a deep coupon and you blast it out and you spike your sales. Now, with viral launch, you can do it through a special URL where it can, I mean, this is something we'd have to go deeper on. It would take a while, but in the old days, we would use a super URL. Now we use these like storefront URLs that still sort of drive the sale through a keyword. And viral launch is using that, but you can do that all on your own. You're just going to have to get out there, pay for ads, do all these things to get in front of people yourself. Viral launch, just pay them and they'll do it. But it's all the same sort of buyers and ex-reviewers, and just makes me a little skeptical. But I'm not saying you'll get banned if you use it. I just don't personally vouch for it. How's the plant? Is it still alive? Yeah, slowly healing. It's taking forever. Okay, the Nissan Rogue was a joke. I know, I appreciate that. I just didn't want to insult I didn't want to insult you if it wasn't a joke. So, yeah, Nissan Rogue. I mean, nothing. I don't know. That's hilarious. Samer, even if I'm selling in the US, I'm not selling in Canada. Yeah, I think it has to do with where your company is based. I could be wrong. I don't want to like put this out there and be wrong, but I'm pretty sure because I do know a gigantic seller from Canada, like probably like 10 million. And I don't think he ever got offered Amazon lending. So yeah. Can you still be successful without Amazon lending? Yeah, 100%. You know, Amazon lending is just a loan, really, a business loan. The reason Amazon lending is better than other ones is just because they know, well, I mean, I don't even know if it's better. It's just that it's easier for you to get typically because they're looking at your numbers and they know what you can afford, roughly, sort of. Let's see. Are there any sites or YouTube channels you would recommend about the healthy lifestyle you've adopted? Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say, you know, the starting point is Bulletproof. I think they put out really great content and a lot of great products too. I'm not sponsored by them. Everyone always asks me. I just like their stuff a lot. I like their mission. I like their brand. You know, I like their marketing. I mean, it's just, it all worked, and they make good products, and it's stuff that I feel is in line with what I have researched on my own. So it's like they're putting out smart products, I feel, and they put out a lot of content. So I would follow Bulletproof on like probably Facebook and or even their own blog on their website, just to start reading around and things like that. Maybe a couple more questions, then I'm going to wrap up in just a sec. Thank you guys for being here. So any last questions, drop them in right now. If getting inspection in China and wanting to avoid more shipping costs with multiple warehouses, should I pay for inventory placement or ship to my house and then pay to ship to Amazon? You know, I just read the comment about Bulletproof about to sponsor Matt soon. What's up, Tristan? Yeah, I hope so. That'd be awesome. Bulletproof, if you're watching, you can send me all the free shit possible, please. Thanks. So as far as the inventory placement, personally for me, I don't know, and that's because for me, it always just goes to the one warehouse anyways. It's always been like that for me. Maybe it's just based on my location and where my products arrive, but all of my products come into Port of Los Angeles or Port of Long Beach, and they all go to the Moreno Valley fulfillment center no matter what. So I don't really have to deal with that. If you're trying to ship like DDP direct from Amazon or direct from China into Amazon, then yeah, I mean, I guess it could be worth looking into, but I wouldn't worry about that until you actually test it and like make sure that's even happening before you try to solve that problem. How do you track your sales tax? It's so high. So sales tax is different from income tax. Make sure you understand that. Sales tax is, you know, the 8-9%, whatever for state. And it's all, I have it all set up automatically. You know, the customer pays for it, goes into my account, but then I remit it every quarter. So it is what it is. The FDA question just now, I don't know. I'm not an expert in that. Team Forte, caught the end of this. What's up, Matt? Hope everyone is doing well. What's up, dude? How's it going? Bradley Williams, hi. What's up? All right, guys. I am going to wrap it up there. Thanks so much for being in here. If you're catching the replay, you know, I appreciate it. If you're not already subscribed, hit subscribe. Check out the description. There are links to every resource, software, the course, consulting calls, the Facebook group. Definitely get in there. All that stuff. Click all the things. You know what to do. Hit the like button. I always forget to ask, so if you appreciate these videos, just always hit the thumbs up. It really does make a difference. It is what it is. And for those of you in here right now live, I'll jump into the chat for a couple of seconds after this. But yeah, thanks for being in here, and I'll catch you in the next one.